You've been told vegetables are always good for you, right? They lower your blood pressure, protect your heart, help you live longer. But what if I told you that a few common vegetables could quietly raise your stroke risk overnight? I know that sounds shocking. After all, we grow up believing the more veggies, the better. And for most of our lives, that's true. But after 60, your body doesn't respond to food the same way it used to. What once nourished your heart can start putting extra stress on it without you even realizing it. And the surprising part? These aren't exotic or unusual vegetables. They're the ones you probably have in your fridge right now. The ones you think are the healthiest choices. I've seen this pattern again and again. Patients who eat what they believe is a perfect heart-healthy diet, fresh salads, green smoothies, steamed veggies, but still end up with high blood pressure, thicker blood, and circulation problems. When we look closer, the culprit isn't processed food. It's actually how certain vegetables react inside an aging body, especially when combined with dehydration, medications, or a slowed metabolism. Now, I'm not saying vegetables are bad, far from it, but I am saying that after 60, some of them require more attention because your body's ability to handle their minerals, natural salts, and compounds changes dramatically. So today, we're going to uncover which vegetables cross that danger line, why they do it, and how to enjoy your greens safely without giving up the foods you love. Because when it comes to protecting your heart and brain, it's not just what you eat that matters, it's how your body handles it. So let's start by looking at what actually happens inside your body after 60, and why even the healthiest foods can start behaving differently. When we talk about healthy aging, we often think of exercise, hydration, and diet, and vegetables usually sit right at the top of that list. But here's something most people never hear from their doctor. After 60, your body doesn't process vegetables the same way it did when you were 40. Let me explain why. Your kidneys and liver, which act like the filters of your body, begin to slow down. They're still working, but not quite as efficiently. So when you eat vegetables rich in potassium, nitrates, or oxalates, nutrients that are perfectly healthy in small amounts, your body now struggles to clear out the excess. Those minerals start lingering in your bloodstream longer than before. And when that happens, your blood chemistry begins to shift. Too much potassium, for example, can disrupt your heart rhythm, especially if you're taking certain pressure or kidney medications. High nitrates from heart-healthy greens can drop your blood pressure too far, too fast. And excess oxalates found in spinach, beet greens, or Swiss chard can build up in your kidneys, increasing your risk of stones or inflammation. So what used to nourish you can quietly start stressing your arteries. There's another major change happening inside your body, your blood vessels themselves. After 60, they naturally lose some of their elasticity. They stiffen. They don't expand and contract as easily as they used to. Now imagine those vessels trying to handle rapid shifts in sodium, potassium, and calcium from your diet. It's like an old garden hose suddenly facing a surge of water pressure. That's where the trouble begins. The result? Higher blood pressure at night, irregular heartbeats, and in some cases, small clots forming more easily, especially if dehydration or medication interactions are also in play. And this is where so many of my older patients get caught off guard. They'll say, "But doctor, I'm eating healthy. I fill half my plate with greens every meal." And I have to gently explain, yes, vegetables are healthy, but only when your body can process them properly. After 60, that more is better mindset can backfire. It's not about giving up your greens. It's about adjusting your portions and timing to match your body's new rhythm. Because what your body could handle easily at 40 can become a vascular stressor at 70. And most people never realize it until their lab work, blood pressure, or energy levels start showing subtle warning signs. So, which vegetables should you watch most carefully? And why do they cause such dramatic changes overnight? Let's break that down next. So, which vegetables are we actually talking about? The ones that seem the healthiest on paper, but can quietly stress your heart and circulation overnight. Let's go through them, one by one. Beets are often called the miracle blood pressure vegetable. They're packed with nitrates, compounds that help open blood vessels and improve circulation. And yes, that's true for some people. But here's what most don't realize. When you're over 60, or already taking blood pressure medication, those same nitrates can drive your blood pressure too low, too quickly. That sudden drop, especially while you're sleeping, can cause dizziness, fatigue, or even reduce blood flow to the brain. And if you're on blood thinners like warfarin or aspirin, the combination can also affect your blood's clotting ability. If you enjoy beets or beet juice, have them in small portions and earlier in the day, not at night. Give your body time to process them while you're active and hydrated. Now, this one surprises almost everyone. Spinach and Swiss chard, the classic super greens. They're rich in magnesium, folate, and antioxidants, but they're also extremely high in oxalates and potassium. For a young, healthy body, no problem. But after 60, your kidneys can't always clear excess potassium efficiently. And too much potassium can interfere with your heart rhythm, especially if you're taking ACE inhibitors, ARBs, or potassium-sparing diuretics. Meanwhile, those oxalates can bind with calcium, forming kidney stones or irritating the urinary tract. I once had a patient who loved spinach smoothies before bed. She was doing everything right, but she kept waking up with leg cramps and elevated morning blood pressure. When we adjusted her timing and portion, those symptoms disappeared. Cook spinach lightly to reduce oxalates and balance it with calcium sources like yogurt or cheese. Celery, crisp, hydrating, great for snacks, right? But here's the twist. Celery naturally contains sodium-like compounds and phthalides, which influence blood pressure. For most people, that's not a problem. But for those who are salt sensitive or already on diuretics or beta blockers, too much celery, especially juiced, can actually raise blood pressure or interfere with medications. And if you're eating large portions late in the evening, that fluid and sodium load can cause overnight water retention, leaving you with swollen fingers or ankles the next morning. Celery is best eaten earlier in the day and balanced with potassium moderate foods like cucumber or lettuce. Here's one that often gets labeled as gut healthy. Kimchi, sauerkraut, pickled cucumbers. They're full of probiotics and flavor, but they're also loaded with sodium. For older adults, that excess salt draws water into the bloodstream, increasing blood volume and pressure, especially overnight, when your body isn't flushing it out as efficiently. That means more work for your heart and a higher stroke risk by morning. Enjoy fermented foods in moderation, a tablespoon or two, not a full bowl, and always drink extra water afterward to help your kidneys balance the sodium. Now, I want to be clear, none of these vegetables are bad. They're not poisons. For healthy adults with strong kidney and heart function, they can be incredibly beneficial. The real problem begins after 60, when your body's internal filters slow down. Your metabolism changes, your hydration drops, and you're often taking medications that magnify these effects. So the same foods that once protected your arteries can now, under the wrong conditions, start to stress them. It's not the vegetables, it's the context, the timing, the portion, and your personal health status. That's why in my clinic, I often remind patients, food is powerful medicine, but even good medicine taken the wrong way can become toxic. Here's the good news. You don't need to quit vegetables. You just need to know which ones are safer and when to eat them to protect your heart, your brain, and your circulation. Let's go over that next, because the solution is actually simple and delicious. By now, you might be thinking, so what can I eat safely? And here's the good news. Most vegetables are still your body's best defense against aging, heart disease, and stroke. You just have to choose them wisely. So let's talk about the safer vegetables and how to eat them in a way that supports your heart, your circulation, and your overall energy after 60. After 60, balance is everything. You don't need to avoid nutrients like potassium. You just want to keep them at healthy levels your kidneys can handle. That's why zucchini, cauliflower, cucumbers, carrots, green beans, and lettuce are your best friends. They're gentle on your kidneys, easy to digest, and still rich in fiber, antioxidants, and hydration. Zucchini, for example, supports healthy blood sugar and adds volume to meals without spiking potassium. Carrots and green beans help regulate blood pressure naturally through magnesium and fiber. And lettuce, especially romaine or butter lettuce, provides hydration and crunch without overloading your system. Fill half your plate with these vegetables at lunch. That's when your digestion and circulation are strongest. Cooking technique matters more than most people realize. When you steam or lightly cook your vegetables, you reduce their potassium and oxalate levels, making them easier for your kidneys and blood vessels to handle. Boiling vegetables in too much water can strip away minerals, while eating them raw can sometimes overwhelm your digestion, especially later in life. So aim for a middle ground, a quick steam, a gentle sauté in olive oil, or even a brief roast in the oven. That's enough to soften the fibers, preserve nutrients, and make the minerals easier to process. Here's a secret that many people miss. Your body absorbs key nutrients like vitamins A, D, E, and K only when fat is present. That's why pairing your vegetables with healthy fats such as olive oil, avocado, or a few nuts can make a huge difference. These fats don't just boost absorption, they also slow digestion, keeping your blood sugar stable and your energy smooth. So drizzle a bit of extra virgin olive oil over your salad or mix half an avocado into your lunch. You're not just making your meal tastier, you're making it smarter. Think of vegetables like medicine. The dose, the timing, and the combination all matter. Even the healthiest food can stress your system if eaten at the wrong time. Try to have most of your vegetables earlier in the day, at breakfast or lunch, when your metabolism is active and your circulation is strongest. Eating large portions of high fiber, high potassium vegetables too close to bedtime can lead to nighttime bloating, leg cramps, or blood pressure fluctuations. So make dinner lighter. A small serving of steamed veggies, some protein, and plenty of water. This part is simple, but vital. Vegetables naturally draw water from your system during digestion. If you're dehydrated, your blood becomes thicker, your pressure rises, and your risk for clotting goes up. That's why I always recommend sipping water or herbal tea with your meals, and again, before bed. Hydration keeps your kidneys flushing smoothly and prevents mineral buildup overnight. Herbal teas like hibiscus, chamomile, or ginger can even help support circulation while relaxing your blood vessels. So remember, it's not about fearing vegetables, it's about understanding them. Your body after 60 is wiser, but also more sensitive. By choosing the right vegetables, cooking them gently, pairing them well, and eating them at the right time, you give your heart and arteries the steady, balanced support they need. And in just a moment, we'll talk about who's most vulnerable to these effects and how to recognize the early warning signs your body may already be giving you. Now, let's get personal for a moment, because the truth is, not everyone is affected by these vegetables in the same way. For some, they're perfectly harmless, but for others, especially after 60, they can quietly push your heart and circulation into dangerous territory overnight. Let's go through who's most at risk so you can see where you stand. Your kidneys are your body's filter. They control the delicate balance of sodium, potassium, and fluid in your bloodstream. But as we age, or if you're taking medications like spironolactone, triamterene, or ACE inhibitors, that filtration system slows down. When that happens, your body can't clear potassium as efficiently. Now imagine eating a large serving of spinach, beet greens, or Swiss chard on top of that. You're adding even more potassium into a system that's already struggling to manage it. The result? Swelling, fatigue, muscle cramps, or even an irregular heartbeat within hours. It's not that these vegetables are bad, it's that your body's balance point has changed. What once nourished you might now overload you. Many people assume that more greens automatically mean lower blood pressure, but here's what I've seen in real patients. It's not always that simple. Vegetables like beets and celery contain compounds that can act like natural vasodilators or sodium mimics. Combine that with blood pressure medication, and your pressure can swing too far, too fast. You might feel dizzy, weak, or wake up in the middle of the night with pounding in your chest. That's your circulation struggling to find its balance. For those managing blood sugar, the issue isn't just sugar, it's insulin resistance and how your body handles minerals after meals. When insulin is high, your kidneys tend to retain more sodium and potassium. So if you add a large nitrate-rich meal on top of that, your blood pressure and electrolyte balance can fluctuate wildly. That's why many of my diabetic patients report feeling lightheaded or fatigued after a supposedly healthy green smoothie or beet juice. Your body's not weak, it's just reacting differently than it did at 40. These are your highest risk situations. If you've ever experienced a stroke, irregular rhythm, or frequent dehydration, your cardiovascular system is already more sensitive to rapid fluid or mineral shifts. Even something as simple as a high potassium dinner, like spinach or beet salad, can cause overnight changes in how your heart conducts electrical signals. You might wake up with a headache, a fluttering pulse, or a feeling of heaviness in your legs. Those aren't random. They're your body's internal alarm system saying, slow down, rebalance. So how do you know if your body is reacting? Here are a few things I ask my patients to look for. Swelling in your hands, ankles, or around the eyes after dinner. Dizziness or fatigue that shows up a few hours after eating greens. Muscle cramps at night, especially in your calves or feet. Waking up with headaches or noticing an irregular pulse. These are small clues, but powerful ones. They tell you your body is struggling to maintain the right balance between potassium, sodium, and circulation. If you notice these signs after a healthy dinner, your body may be telling you it's time to rebalance your vegetable intake. Let's simplify it. If your kidneys are slowing down, watch your potassium. If your heart is sensitive, monitor sodium-like compounds. If your blood sugar is unstable, balance your meals and avoid veggie-heavy late dinners. And if you've had stroke or rhythm issues, timing and hydration are your biggest allies. You don't have to avoid vegetables. You just have to match them to your body's current capacity, not what it used to be 20 years ago. So, what does a safe, heart-friendly daily vegetable plan actually look like? Let's build one together, step by step. All right, now that you know which vegetables to watch out for, let's talk about what you should do. Because the goal isn't to make you fear your food, it's to help you eat smarter, in sync with how your body actually works after 60. So let's build your doctor-approved daily vegetable plan. Simple, balanced, and realistic. Your first meal sets the tone for your circulation and metabolism all day long. So instead of loading your system with raw greens or heavy fiber first thing, go gentle. Try a zucchini omelet or a cucumber and spinach smoothie, blended with a little yogurt or avocado. These are low oxalate, easy on the kidneys, and give you slow, steady energy. And before breakfast, start with something as simple as a glass of lemon water. It supports hydration, kidney function, and helps your body flush out excess minerals that can build up overnight. Think of your morning as your reset button. It's when you hydrate, nourish, and prepare your circulation for the day ahead. This is your ideal time for leafy greens, when your metabolism is most active and your kidneys are fully awake. But here's the key: portion control. You don't need a massive bowl of raw spinach to be healthy. Half a cup of spinach or kale tossed with olive oil, lemon, and some protein, like grilled chicken or salmon, is perfect. The olive oil slows absorption, the protein stabilizes your blood sugar, and the greens provide natural nitrates in a manageable dose. Avoid pairing your greens with salty soups, pickles, or cheese-heavy meals. That's a common hidden sodium trap. Evening is where most people make mistakes, and where stroke risk quietly rises overnight. Your metabolism slows down, your blood vessels naturally tighten, and your body is preparing for rest. That means it's not the time to overload with potassium-heavy or nitrate-rich vegetables. So skip the beet salads, skip the spinach, skip the fermented or pickled veggies after 7 p.m. Instead, focus on steamed or roasted vegetables like cauliflower, carrots, green beans, or even soft-cooked zucchini. They're gentle, easy to digest, and won't disrupt your blood pressure or fluid balance while you sleep. And if you still want something before bed, reach for warm herbal tea or water with a few cucumber slices instead of another serving of vegetables. Vegetables are powerful allies, but only when you match them to your body's needs and timing. At 40, your liver, kidneys, and arteries could handle large portions of raw greens and potassium-rich foods. At 60, 70, or beyond, your system needs a gentler rhythm. It's not about restriction. It's about respecting the way your body changes with age. When you do that, every meal becomes an act of prevention, protecting your circulation, your heart, and your peace of mind. Let's recap this simple 3-step plan. Morning, cooked or blended low oxalate veggies like zucchini or cucumber. Start with lemon water to hydrate. Lunch, small serving of leafy greens with olive oil and protein. Avoid adding too much salt or cheese. Evening, steamed or roasted low potassium veggies, carrots, green beans, cauliflower. Skip beets, spinach, and pickled foods after 7 p.m. simple, sustainable, and perfectly aligned with how your body works after 60. Now that you know how to build a balanced routine, let's finish strong with the one thing that truly ties it all together, your next step toward a healthier heart. Here's the truth. Vegetables are essential, but after 60, your body quietly changes the rules. The same foods that once energized you can now shift your blood pressure, your circulation, even your sleep, without you realizing it. Some vegetables heal you. Others, in the wrong timing or in excess, can slowly strain your heart and vessels. But here's the good news. When you combine balance, hydration, and awareness, your plate becomes your greatest protection, not your risk. You don't need to quit your favorite foods. You just need to understand your body's rhythm and eat in a way that supports your heart, your kidneys, and your longevity. If this video helped you, please like it. It truly helps others find this information. And subscribe for more doctor-backed health advice designed for smarter aging, not fear. Then tell me in the comments, what's your favorite vegetable and how do you usually cook it? I read every comment personally. Thank you for watching. Take care, stay strong, and I'll see you in the next video.